So it's because of digital revolution, no more camera using this roll film. So Kodak has to reinvent itself. Kodak had a 90% camera market, did not address competition with new technology, digital technology. Fuji, this is Fujifilm, entered US market with lower price film and supplies. Kodak ignored that. By mid-1990s, Fuji had a 17% of market, Kodak 75%. Kodak finally developed digital camera, but was undercut by smartphone. Yes, digital camera, no more digital camera. Maybe I have a sample here. I used maybe 5 digital camera at that time in the 2000s. But with the invention of smartphone with camera, people don't buy anymore digital. What else? This old camera using the roll film. So filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Kodak now has small digital imaging. So Kodak now focus on what it can do best, which is something with imaging. So Kodak into the imaging for health, health hospital. So hospital, you want to get image of lungs, everything. So what time is it now? Can someone tell me the time? I don't have watch with me. Sorry, I don't want to go over 12. Bicycle imports, Schwinn, downshift, Schwinn bicycle once started competition produced. So this, we're talking about globalization and competition. Produced mountain bikes, cheap imports enter market. Schwinn moved to production of non-union state to states without union. Obtained 40 parts, uneven quality, declared bankruptcy. So today, Schwinn made in China. Electronics as well. Moving of TV production to America. In once 150 US TV manufacturers, imports from Japan, China, South Korea, others. Flat panel TV lighter, cheaper to ship from Asia. Malaysia in 1980s, in 1990s, Malaysia, or late 80s and 1990s, Malaysia was the #1 exporter of TV in the world, because so many companies, Sony, Panasonic, JVC, well, all make TV. Well, Sony, Panasonic make TV here in Malaysia, and no more. Cost is more expensive, not enough labor. So by 2000, no US TV manufacturers. Cost of China rising, US factories moved to more competitive place. So Electronics became only TV manufacturing United States. Made in America logo still the name of the company, Element Electronics. So it's trade zero. So trade is a zero-sum activity. So we're gonna show that through this course, trade is not a zero-sum activity. What is zero-sum activity? Talks about, let's say two person here, person A, person B, 2 people. Person A, person B, all have 5 cookies. A has 5 cookies, B has 5 cookies. So they do the trading activity or game. So now A has 8, B has 2 cookies only. But when we add together, 8 plus 2 still 10. So zero sum, no increase. That's the meaning of zero sum activity, no increase. After the game, still all total is 10. So one person or one country gain at the expense or at the loss of another person or another country, whereas total is still remain the same, 10. So that's zero sum activity. We're gonna show through this class that trade is not a zero sum activity. Trade will be beneficial for all countries involved, and yet world welfare will increase. So trade is a positive game activity, positive. So if trade just now 5-5, positive gain, they trade with each other because one country, one person specialized in product A, another country specialized in product B. So when they specialize, they become more efficient in this product. They can produce more, and then they trade. So when they trade, all gain. Each country will gain. Suppose product X and Y. Country A more efficient in product X, so increase the production of X. Country B more efficient in product Y, increase production of Y, specialization. Okay, so more Y's are produced by country B, more X are produced by country A, and they trade with each other. The total in the world increase. No more 10 like before, now can be 30, because increase in X by country A production, increase in the production of Y by country B. Yes, that's positive sum game, positive sum game or activity. So that was zero sum. One country gain, another country lose. No, false. Trade, international trade is all countries will win. So imports result, that's the theory, okay? But reality is different because there are other things, barriers to trade and so on. So imports result in unemployment and burden the economy, while export promote growth and jobs. This is the thinking of zero-sum activity, which is wrong thinking, wrong teaching, wrong ideology according to our trade theory. So this is false. This is a source of fallacy. False. Fallacy means false. It's a failure to consider connection between import and export. So common policies in international trade. What time is it now? Please tell me. This is still common policies. Number 1, zero sum. Wrong. Number 2, tariff, quotas, and other imports result in more jobs. This is also wrong thinking. You stop import, jobs will create jobs domestically. No. False. Because fails to recognize that a reduction in imports does not occur in isolation. When you reduce imports, companies cannot get supplies of critical components. Number one, when you reduce imports, people are having less choice on the domestic products. So the economy may not grow fast as fast if you have liberalized more choices. But the first one is much more true, that you stop import, companies domestically cannot operate because they need components from outside. So some economists say US is losing its innovation edge. Manufacturing is key to R&D, dangerous inventions. Other economists disagree. All the key technologies and high value added activities are in the US. So number 3 is opportunity or threat to workers. Trade. So false to say trade is a threat to workers. That's number 3. This is another fallacy. False. So international trade is both opportunity and threat for firms and workers. Example, export and closing mill factories in North Carolina. But some companies will gain. Those companies closing because they're not in the comparative, not in accordance to comparative advantage of that country, because US no more labor abundant. So you cannot operate anymore labor intensive product manufacturing that produce products that use a lot of labor, that we call it labor intensive. You need to shift to capital and more high tech that use less of labor. So 1.4 million American jobs supported by export. Total. So export, trade creates jobs. Free trade, import and export. Let import comes, and you also export. That will create job and secure job. This is the trade theory we learn. Free trade is good. Free meaning no barriers to trade. So, international trade increases total productivity. Wages paid by exporters higher than non-exporters. Exporting industries require more educated workforce. Not all workers gain from international trade. However, some places lose jobs to cheap imports. Concern over mass immigration for low-wage workers. There's a concern that particular threat to unskilled in the developed. So those are unskilled, yes. Unskilled, no skill, yes. They will lose job. So that's why important. Trade will demand a country to have more skills. The less skilled must retrain themselves. Hurts unskilled workers and import competing industries. You know what is import competing industries? They're trying to compete with imports. Imports coming, they try to compete with that by manufacturing domestically, locally. So those companies, even though try to manufacture domestically, but if there's a choice, product can be imported cheaper, should not be producing that product, can be imported. That's cheaper, and you focus and specialize in other products that you can export. Other products that other countries find it cheaper to buy from you. So that's why it hurts the unskilled workers in import competing industry, which is not in accordance to competitive advantage of that country. So wages increase for skilled workers. So workers more productive. Imports do not decrease. So here it is, the verdict. Imports do not decrease the total jobs in the nation. Total jobs do not increase. Imports. So no problem, imports do not decrease total jobs. But some jobs are lost. Those who unskilled workers will lose jobs. But total jobs do not increase. Just another kind of technology adds value to imports. Add value to inputs. Please tell me what time is it now. Please. Hello. I need to know the time. Yes? $11:40. Okay. Mainstream economies, open economies provide more than closed. So better to have open economies rather than closed economies. Take North Korea. North Korea is very close. Everything is closed. So closed information tightened. Import and export through the illegal channel and so on. So critics, U.S. trade policies primarily benefit large corporations rather than average citizens. This is the critics. Let's see the answer. Warning signs of unfairness and frustration over environment and American workers and international labor standards. Some complain that American companies, these big companies, multinational companies, go to developing countries where they can produce products at a lower cost, not only using the cheaper labor, but also taking advantage of the lack of environmental regulation in less developed country. So usually less developed country, their regulation to protect environment is less relaxed. So then these companies do not have to pay a lot of money to install machinery, to install something in the factory to reduce smoke. So environment and also labor standard, they go to other countries that lacks of labor regulation, that do not take action on workers child worker, you know, according to ILO, International Labour Organization, children should not work. That's against the law. If 12-year-old, you know, work in a factory, that's illegal. But some countries, you know, which they concern more to make money, they don't care, less, you know, regulation for labor. 13, 14 years working in a factory, years old. That happened. So, you know, 18, well, underage factory workers, because lack of regulation. So some, this is the complaint, or even allegations. Some multinational companies, you know, trying to go to places that they can save on labor costs. They don't care much about labor standards, you know, safety, environment. For example, here in Malaysia, there was a controversy of Lynas, the company LYNAS, Lynas, to process rare earth. What is rare earth? You know, to make semiconductor chips, microchips from rare earth, they process to make component to become microchips. So from Australia, came to a place, Gebeng, in Pahang, eastern part of Peninsula Malaysia, to open a factory to process this rare earth with environmental, you know, consequence. You know, will be not good for the environment. You know, but this, why don't do this? Why don't they do this in Australia? But they came to Malaysia. So there was a controversy. Some people get angry that, you know, these companies are open in Malaysia. So they will damage the environment, the water, the chemical, the things will go into the radioactivity, whatever, will go into the soil, will get into the river, and you know. So non-academic aspects of globalization also shape international debate. Non-academic aspect, politics, international securities. Yes, Huawei cannot enter America. Oh, end of the slide. Oh. So we're done. So what time is it now? Are we gonna go into the theory in next chapter next week? So any question from you guys? I'm gonna stop end of the show. Stop sharing. I go. Yeah. 43. Oh, 43. I was speaking so fast, you know. Very fast I'm speaking because I thought it's already. Oh, I moved myself. My mistake. Oh. Now 43. We okay. I thought because I didn't have my watch. I thought I was almost 12 o'clock. I already prepared a QR code. So any question from you? Before we, you know, we stop, I should give you at least a glimpse of what's coming up, which is chapter 2. Now we're gonna really go into the theory. As I mentioned earlier, we're gonna study in this chapter 2 I've seen the slide or not? Yeah. This is a preliminary what you're gonna see in the chapter 2. Can you see now? Chapter 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. give me a warning when 3 minutes before the time, or 3 minutes or 2 minutes before 12 o'clock. Warn me to stop. Okay? Not this one. Okay, chapter 2. Can you see now? Chapter 2, Foundation of Modern Trade Theory. Can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna study this modern trade theory in chapter 2, but in chapter 2, not mentioned in the cover of the chapter is the classical trade theory. We will start with classical trade theory. So chapter 2 should be titled like this: Foundation of Trade Theory, the classical trade theory, and the modern trade theory. Classical trade theory and modern trade theory, which is absolute advantage, classical, and comparative advantage, also classical. So chapter 2 is classical actually. Chapter 2, classical trade theory, has two theories: absolute advantage and comparative advantage. So if I were to write again chapter 2, the title, Foundation of Trade Theory, take out the word modern because it is classical. So while in fact it is true what it's saying, this is the foundation for modern trade theory that will come next in next chapters. Okay? The foundation comes from here. The foundation for modern trade theory comes from here, which is classical trade theory. 2, absolute advantage, AA, absolute advantage, and CA, comparative advantage. Both AA and CA are classical. AA and CA, AA, what is AA? Absolute advantage. CA, comparative advantage. Both are classical trade theory that will lead to neoclassical trade theory, chapter 3, which is Shaolin. But they are already incorporated in this one chapter. So the whole chapter 2, classical plus neoclassical in one chapter. So that's why modern trade theory. So we have to start with absolute advantage. But before that, mercantilism is, okay, this absolute advantage. And after absolute advantage is comparative advantage. See here, comparative advantage. Absolute advantage, AA and CA. These are classical. And then we move on. Still comparative advantage. Yes, finish. So next chapter will be the Shaolin, which is modern or neoclassical trade theory. So this chapter, actually, the whole chapter is classical trade theory, even though the title says modern. I hope you understand what I'm trying to tell you. That's the way, just the way that author give the title. The foundation of modern trade theory today, modern trade theory, the foundation come from these two things: absolute advantage, which the author doesn't even write here, and comparative advantage. Just now we saw absolute advantage. See, absolute advantage, and this is by Adam Smith. So you must know the name, the father of economics. The father of modern economics is Adam Smith. Adam Smith gave the theory of absolute advantage, and followed by Ricardo, comparative advantage. Absolute, comparative. Absolute, comparative. Absolute, Adam Smith. Comparative, Ricardo. Both Smith and Ricardo are classical trade economists. In next chapter, factor proportion theory, Heckscher or Lin. That's the neoclassical. Okay. What time is it now? Somebody tell me, please. Yes? 11:50. I have 8 minutes or 7 minutes. So, historical development of modern trade theory, how to get modern today, came from classical. But before classical, there was a non-modern trade theory, which I consider wrong thinking about trade. That was mercantilist. So, we're going to see next. Production, positive frontier, trade is all this. Outline, these are other outlines. Main concept. What is the basis for trade? Why trade happen? Why countries want to trade? Why I want to buy nasi lemak? Why I want to buy, in the breakfast, nasi lemak. Why I want to buy breakfast? Because if I want to make breakfast by myself, I will lose time. I'm not efficient. So you buy something that you cannot do efficiently, you just buy. Don't try to make. That's one of the example of basis for trade. So why do nations export and import certain products? At what terms of trade? What is terms of trade? The terms of exchange. Yeah, how much? Relative price. Okay, our products exchanged in the world market. Gains from international trade. Production gain and consumption gain. So, historical development to the modern trade theory of today, we must begin with the wrong teaching of trade. This is by the mercantilist. This is wrong, 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 wrong. That what happened in 1950s, 1500s to 1800s. Wrong teaching of trade theory, not even trade theory. This is before the coming of Adam Smith, before the birth of Adam Smith. Not before the birth, before the writing of the father of modern economics, Adam Smith, with the book of The Wealth of Nation in 1776, 1776, Wealth of Nations. So before that, mercantilist era, not trade theory, not modern trade theory, wrong teaching about trade theory. Promoted favorable trade balance by encouraging exports only, but discourage import. They want to export only, but no import, no import, no import. So that the world does not operate that way. The country does not operate that way. You must export. You must also let import. So wrong teaching, okay? Wrong ideology, according to trade theory. So short rise in domestic output and employment. They want to do that. Why? Encouraging export, but stopping import. Supposedly they want to create jobs. But we're going to show this is not going to happen. So advocated government regulations of trade, tariffs, quota. What is tariff? Import duty. You pay product. You bring product, you have to pay to the government. Tariff, import duty. Quotas is stopping the amount of products that can come in. Quota is the quantity. 100 Adidas only, 100 Mercedes-Benz only, for example. people will be fighting to get Mercedes-Benz. So I'm just giving exaggerated example. Okay, other commercial policies. So criticism of mercantilists. This is wrong, mercantilist. David Hume is the first, known for this, to criticize the mercantilism ideology through the price specie flow doctrine that he brings. A favorable trade balance is only possible only in short term. Why? In short term? So there's a diagram not drawn here. I can tell you. Okay. Suppose a country has started with a surplus in export. Okay. And another thing, during mercantilism, the objective of the country is to accumulate, to get as many as possible as gold, because currency at that time, gold is the currency. So countries just want to collect, to increase the amount of gold in the country. So they export. They export, they get more gold and silver. So suppose the currency at the time, okay, gold and silver, not the money today. This is during primitive, long time ago, 1500. So suppose a country began with trade surplus, meaning a lot of gold in it. Trade surplus, export, more export than import. When there's more export than import, more gold in the country. More gold means more money in the country. As a result, prices in the country goes up. When prices go up, surplus, amount of gold a lot, leads to higher level of price in the country. Circle like this. And this will make their products more expensive, not easy to export. At the same time, people in the country find that it's cheaper to buy products from another country to import. So as a result, that trade surplus only could be maintained in the short term, and it's not going to make that country prosper. So who came? This is the criticism by Rabbi Hume. Wrong, you are wrong, mercantilism. You are wrong. So came Adam Smith to teach these people, to teach us in 1776 with the Wealth of Nations, the book, the title, static view. You know, the mercantilists are using static view, world's wealth, not fixed quantity. This is static view. World's wealth, not fixed quantity, can be increased. So international trade will increase general level of productivity within a country as well as increases world output. This is Adam Smith teaching us the right one. Mercantilist was wrong. So one nation trade, this is the one that Adam Smith gave us. Absolute advantage. The theory with the assumption of production costs differ among nations due to productivities of factor inputs. So here the model. What is a model? Representation of reality. For example, globe. Globe is a model for Earth. So model of 2 by 2, 2 times 2 by 2 times 2 times 1. 2 countries, 2 products, 1 factor only. Assumption, okay? This is a model. Why model? To make it simple. 2 countries, 2 products, country A, country B, 2 products, product X and product Y. 1 factor only, which is not true, right? Reality, 1 factor only, labor only. Reality, labor, capital, technology and so on. So make it simple, 2 by 2. 12. So I have stopped here. So 2 by 1 only. So countries will specialize based on which product, which country can produce which product cheaper? Absolutely. And another country also, which product it can absolutely produce the product cheaper. If country A can produce product X cheaper because of higher productivity of labor to produce X, if country B is more efficient to produce product Y because I'm more productive, the labor there to produce Y, so the country A will specialize in X, production of X, country B will specialize in production of Y, and then trade each other. That's absolute advantage theory. So we stop here. Thank you. And I'm gonna show you the QR code for your attendance. So we continue next week. What is it? QR code. I had it. I prepared it. Oh, I saved it. Okay, this one. I was worried. I lost it. Okay. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Professor.
Stay safe, because I think the pandemic is still everywhere, especially in China. I think we heard, but we don't know. You guys know better. You know, the lockdown in China. Is that the reason that you cannot come to Malaysia? I just want to know. No? Oh, visa. Oh, some people cannot have the visa. Oh, I see. The process. Takes time, eh? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I hope you enjoy Malaysia, because UKM is a small town. You have to go to KL to see the large everything there. But I like to be in a small town. Easy life. Big cities, wow, a lot of traffic. Okay, I'm gonna stop this and